Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like me munching while we're playing, then I think we should just get started. I'm not fully done with the soup yet. I'll keep on eating it. But here I am anyway. I have a lovely vegetable soup. It is delicious. I wanted to scarf it down, but it's too delicious not to enjoy slowly. That will mean I'm going to run off in the middle to get myself a nice cup of ginger ale later, but that's all right. So, good to see all. Happy to have you with us here. After we went a little bit late yesterday with her story, we're going to be doing from what I understand, a shorter game, The Beginner's Guide. All I know is that it's made by the people who made Stanley Parable, and Stanley Parable was very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. And as I see in Steam's recent news, apparently the Beginner's Guide creators have released a JRPG about Keanu Reeves. Okay. It's it's an RPG Maker game about Keanu Reeves indiscriminately stabbing people. That makes perfect sense. Okay, let me make sure to get the game capture up for you. Capture. Oi, don't do that. The Beginner's Guide. Hello? There we go. Are we working? Great, isn't it, Scaparmal? Oh. It just crashed on me. Okay, let's try that again. Apparently it doesn't like alt-tabbing while it's loading. If this is part of some weird, obscure meta game, then I am very displeased. It is not booting up anymore. Task manager. Manage my tasks. What's going on? Sort by name, please. Thank you. Would it be Beginner's Guide? The Beginner's Guide? It's not running. Steam crashed on me. Okay, exit Steam. We are rebooting Steam. That's a good start. That's such a good start. Eating soup, booting Steam. This is the quality gameplay you come here for. So how are you all doing? Having nice dinners? Have had nice dinners? Lunches, depending on where you are. I think Cha-Cha would be more in lunch territory, right? Two-factor codes. Wiping away all the cat hairs that Indy's left behind. And we are rebooting. Sorry about that. Yeah, Steam news. Very interesting that Hob is... There we go. Cheaper. Looked interesting, but I've heard it's not that good. Breakfast. It's 9 AM? Wait, oh, you're West Coast. West Coast America. That's really cool. This you woke up around 20C, now it's about 15C. Headphones, there we go. Oh, 5.1, cool. Sound quality high. Closed captioning, yes please. Watch screen, yeah, full screen, yep.
Thank you, Witcher.
Holy crap.
I hope you're worth the coin the Duchess pledged you.
Jexus, thank you so much. Twitch Prime. That is awesome. And I always love hearing that sound effect. Thank you so much. The Byronic book spam. Awesome. Thank you. I didn't even know we got Twitch. Oh, no, wait. We had this discussion, right? Twitch Prime was released here to Amazon Prime. Sure. That sounds good. Let's use keyboard and mouse. Sure. Everything seems fine. Thank you so much, Jexus. Those Byronic books look amazing. How are you doing? As you can see, I'm still having some vegetable soup while I play this game. Let's adjust the audio and dive right on in on whatever this is. Because I have no idea. I believe it is. WASD and left click. It's going to be advanced controls. Going to take me time to learn this.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
Oh,
My
you're
name is
welcome.
Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable.
Which was
and
awesome.
while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
If we have to climb a
And it kinda
mountain in
makes you
this,
wonder,
I will be
What
so
was going
aggravated.
through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never
Thank you so
releases
much,
any of
Texas.
them.
That
He
is so
doesn't put
kind.
them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer
As
forever.
much as I doubt.
And I think he really
know,
understood this
myself
image
like
of
that.
himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden
Is this a
at
documentary?
gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
It looks like we're playing a documentary. Okay, very disorientating. Is this going to be one of those educational streams? Apparently it is, Cha-Cha. Apparently it is.
Warning. Whisper
What?
machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
The Whisper machine is active.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Okay. This is a weird hallway. Let's go to the left. Oh no, it's exploded. Evacuate immediately. I guess. But yeah, Cha-Cha, I guess this is a demonstration of various video games. I thought this was a game.
Security call reached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Wow. Hospital.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Yeah.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies
Exactly.
somewhere. But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Is this a game though?
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I mean, has anything happened? Is there a fail state?
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Wait, did it react to me seeing that? Oh, that is awesome. We need to start looking at everything. Wait, we could go there. Could we go here? What are these holes? Why is there a dead end here? So, this seems like a game...
Apparently, the
Wait,
space
what?
station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh man, I wish Huther was here for this. He would have so
this is the
much
part
to
that's
say.
interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all.
Of course, this is what an engine
That
looks
beam
like.
is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give
I
yourself...
wonder, Vaden. I mean, does Coda even actually exist? Did he make this? Is Coda an actual person? Can I choose not to jump in here, by the way?
This is not a branching point, unfortunately. The only option is to step into the beam.
I love it. I'm gonna wait. Is the voice acting? Yeah. That's a good question, actually. If this is a hobby project, maybe a friend of his. I'm gonna wait a little bit because I want to see whether he actually says something about that. By the way, this whole mechanic, the whole narrator talking to you directly, reminds me a little bit of Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Bennett? Kenneth? Foddy, something Foddy. That, to me, is a complete time waster. That is a game I will not play because it's just stupid. It's like, I want to be the Boshi level of annoying. Intentionally badly designed... Okay, this is not gonna happen. Controls? No.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. So instead... we become a sky baby. We step outside the game.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know.
Skybox there.
I have no
At the
idea what he
edge.
was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs.
Bennett
So he
Foddy,
stops
yes,
work on
that's
this
the one.
and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
You know, this is kind of interesting. I mean, this is seriously like a documentary that you play. This is... I like the idea behind that. Past was behind her. Okay. I can't... Oh.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
I was just having that exact realization. None of the buttons worked, and then I pressed S. The pass was behind her, and you can only walk backwards. That's actually really interesting, and I probably fall. Let's test. No, I cannot fall. You can only walk backwards. The pass was behind it. This is I can see how this would have led somewhere. Oh,
So it's a short
the future
and
could not be
relatively
seen.
minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete.
yeah.
Code
what's
is
the
trying to
future
give
gonna
it a
change?
unique voice rather
Whoa.
than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Actually, yeah, I can see how the Stanley Parable is very much like this. When she stops and looks, it becomes clear. There's an actual message in this. This is real interesting. The past was behind her, but the future could not be seen. Why does the future keep changing? And it's only when she stops and looks that it becomes clearer. Because you just walk backwards. And only when you see it, anything happens. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it? Seriously,
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it
Antechamber
works,
as well, yeah.
because it gets out quick. Okay, next
Antechamber
one.
makes sense on a fourth dimensional level, though, apparently. Consistently. This changes. Although, I guess you could say if she shifts in a fourth dimension, then yeah, that would be something. To be honest, I actually really like that as a short experience. That was really interesting. So, next experience. Oh, so I can walk forwards, backwards, left to right. I can jump. But the light just moves with me. You are now entering. What am I entering? Can I go back and see that sign again? Yeah, you are now entering, okay. I'm gonna see a sign that says you're now leaving. Oh,
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
okay. Speak for yourself, you find it chaotic if you just start talking through the narrative.
Oftentimes,
Okay.
Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense in nearly every direction.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I can get that, Vaden. Normally I have the voices lowered as well, but in this case, of course, the narrator plays a very important role. Okay, so... Wait, I'm moving slower. I'm moving very slow.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
You know what? I'm going for the achievement and not pressing enter. I am quite sure. I suspect strongly that there would be an achievement for doing this without pressing enter. So, how are you guys doing? You doing okay? Just begun. We have indeed just begun. Do I hate it already? So far I love it, Alex. So I wonder where this is going. I need tea time. Would be a good time to actually get the ginger ale. I just strongly suspect, I know he said we can press enter and then move forward. I strongly suspect if you don't press enter, there's gonna have to be some different dialogue, right? How do I get this, how do I keep this pressed down? I have this little statuette here. Does that fit? Does that press this button down? It presses the button down. I will be right back. There we go. Got rid of the soup. Got myself a nice ginger ale. Yeah, they're interesting game design concepts. Exactly, I agree. You loathe this game? You wonder if you come to the same conclusion? Oh, I guess that will depend heavily on what some of the messaging is or what happens with it. Oh, that's some nice ginger ale. It's a little less sharp than I usually make it. It's got an interesting tingy aftertaste. I guess, you know, I used a lime instead, 2 limes instead of lemons. That might be a change as well. Let's put my finger back on the button. There we go. Yeah, exactly, Jaja. As I was saying, right? So far, it seems to be more of a documentary rather than a game. How do I make ginger ale? You take about, I don't know in, you know, the crazy American made-up measurements, but you take about 500 grams of ginger. You put that in a, just your average kitchen processor, you know, chop it down real small. Add about 1 liter of boiling water. And have that steep for about 2 hours. Then you pour that out into a larger pot, like a 4-liter content thing. And, or you filter that out, I mean. You make sure to filter out the ginger ale. You keep the extract, the water. You add the juice of 2 lemons. You add about 3 liters of cold water. You have that steep for about an hour. Then you add about 350 grams of cane sugar, about 5 grams of nutmeg. You mix that up, have it rest for... Okay. Why is the vision going up? That's not me. That's not me doing that. Okay. You leave that to rest for about a night, and then you pour it in bottles. Okay, you know what? Enter. I'm done with this. Stand on X staring at a bit. What? You run a shop inside your own body? Stood in a small room. What? You are a gate? A button you press to stop the chaos? That... What? What is going on?
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Stand on an X
Coda
staring
would
at a
often
bear
tell
for 3
me
hours?
that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Wait, that's weird. He is cold and distant, but he's actually warm? Seems strange. Whoa! Okay. Ready, set, fish. You have your reasons, you kind of don't want to spoil it? Oh, okay. We'll see it later on. Yeah, you know, thanks for, he's the game, he's the room. Thanks for keeping that hidden for the time being. We'll get it in the after discussion. From what I understand, it's a very short game, right? A beginner's guide. It's supposed to be something of a 2-hour experience, something along those lines.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
What's the puzzle? Oh. If I pull this... Okay, I'm stuck here. What's going on? I'm gonna lock myself in. And that gets me a switch on the other side. That's cool.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
Oh, okay. Again with the 3 dots, by the way. It's been coming back a couple of times. You already like Coda? It's a little heavy-handed, but touching, thought-provoking. Definitely messy, but engaged with a lot of different ideas. Okay. I'm interested to seeing how this develops.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, Now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
But yeah, so far I like the presentation of the different games, the sort of documentary style, and we'll see where it ends up. Wait, what? Why did we see only that tiny bit?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
I have thought about that as well. You know, what happens when you miss content versus what happens when you see content. That whole thing of I chose this path, that actually yesterday I was thinking about that with her story, where I thought I got to the end, I thought I worked out what happened, and interesting enough with her story, it didn't matter what I said. Whether I said yes I understand, no I don't understand, the game was over anyway. And I liked that idea of thinking that was it. We started searching forward to a small amount of extra information that I think in the end didn't add as much to our understanding of it as it would have. Oh, absolutely, Vane. If these ever were actual games to begin with, which, you know, I wonder if these were literally created for this situation, if Coda actually exists. You are now exiting. Hey, earlier on, we were entering. Let's just go forward.
Aha! So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
That seems like a bit of a stretch right now, though, to assume that he is some kind of massive genius. Great and lovely descent, you know, stringing together all these ideas. Just a very cynical person who assumes his choice is a very pretentious way of conveying convoluted message about the designer's own struggle with game design. Probably is. I mean, again, you know, did Coda even actually exist? Were these actual games that he found?
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Okay.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Like circles,
One of the
apparently.
things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
So we're getting a small lesson about Source Engine here, Uther. Can I fall off? Whoa, it looks like I can fall off. Maybe I can fall off. Let's walk for a second. Whoo. I can see how people compared this to the Stanley Parable and mention that Stanley Parable seems better. So far, you know, Stanley Parable had the advantage of looking really interesting, not having that explicit a message at the start. And of course, it was refreshing and new. And then when you do this just after Stanley Parable, then of course the thing is, oh, it's like Stanley Parable. Except more explicitly so. And then it, you know, turns into, I want to be the Boshi. There we go. Source indeed. Thing is, there aren't any engines that are bad at linear boxing corridors. Yeah, I think what he was trying to express would be, you know, the engine isn't good at circles, which is a better way of phrasing what he was, you know, of the point. I think we go this direction. We're not supposed to go here, because I'm picking, well, I'm saying supposed, I'm picking what seems to be the logical route to descend. This doesn't seem like we have any fall damage, which helps. What are we moving towards, though? That drain there. Circles don't exist in games? Yeah, just very fine polyhedrons, right? Trick of lighting and high polygon count? Yeah, that's what I figured. Well, I guess we're jumping. Whee! High polygon count. So what are we even doing here? This is a cool room, though. Okay. Being herded like livestock. Suddenly it turns into a horror game. That's interesting. What's the difference between vector circles and circle meshes?
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Oh no, no,
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
Is that even a game,
Believe
though?
me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Ooh, that's an interesting little room. Again with the 3 dots, by the way. They keep coming back. In a too obvious kind of way.
It's the puzzle again.
Hey.
With the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
This Coda and me vehicle can get tiring. Yeah, I can get that. I mean, he keeps referring to Coda. We don't see Coda, we don't mention Coda. It's that documentary style. Normally good documentaries, like some of the things Netflix have been producing recently, they're more varied than just Coda said. Coda did. You there? Did you come from up above? What was up there?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. 2018. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. Perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it, tell us the solution, tell us how to get to the other side. Okay. Oh, Vector's more of a mathematical kind of graphic. Each point exists on the XYZ axis, so no matter magnification you don't use resolution. So you just map out geometrical structures on a Cartesian coordinate system, and instead of drawing the thing, you just tell the computer where it is, so you can always zoom in because it draws it, rather than zooming in on an image that distorts. Well, yeah, Vaden, that's what I can accept him if this is a documentary about Coda. I can accept that style, I mean. Just me, you don't want to go over there, buddy. There must be an ending. Well, now. Okay. Make sure it's just an assembly of polygons, exist at fixed points, so they're subject to camera placement, etc. Yeah. Yeah, so then I have a good idea of what that is. Vector graphics. Okay. Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? I should find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Black space between the doors. Oh, wait, in the puzzle. Yeah, I did feel strange passing through it. We'll see it again soon. I have no doubt I will. Yeah, I have the same thing, Jexus. The music is getting pretty loud. Apparently there's no way to get that music down specifically. Okay. I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit over here. But that also means the voice gets lowered. Just like Scientology's trying to brainwash you. Yes, send more bits. Actually, no, you're fine. You're already Twitch subscribed. Everybody else, send more
And so we make
bits.
one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
I was trying to do the Austin Powers eyebrow wiggle thing, but I cannot move my eyebrows individually. Except for, like, maybe like that. This looks like a reasonable apartment complex.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
And that's when he murdered.
I'll tell you what I think.
Okay.
I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Also, Jexus, no FOV slider. Ghost, so far, it's interesting. I'm not sure I consider it a game as much as a documentary, though. This game is connected to the internet. Lies. You walk around, you can leave notes. Dark Souls. Well, don't you see are left by other players? Oh, that's gonna be horrible. If that's true, it's gonna be horrible. Oh, NURBS and so on are an alternative to polygonal type geometry. They are surfaces assembled in complex objects defined by mathematical rules. Monitor aren't any game engines that handle them directly, not without first approximating them as polygons. That's interesting. But what would the advantage be of NURBS to polygons then? I mean, surfaces rather than the polygons. I guess the surface already defines multiple polygons right away. Unless you see I live by other players. Yeah, that's... I'm very concerned because that is, you know, nice chest ahead, better head two hand. Our engine does... Exactly, Chacha. Nice room. Not. Can I leave some of these messages? Also, what is this? Is this a door? There's some advantages to the complex subject. I can
First
bet.
off,
Oh.
I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
So
I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
So is this going to be a heavy-handed talk about autism and completely misrepresenting what autism is? Because it's talking about, oh, he seemed cold on the outside, but he thought he was warm, he tried to talk to people, blah, blah, blah. If this is going to end up being, turns out he was autistic, or turns out I'm autistic, it's like, Message tokener, oh wait. Let me read back up on this. Full pipeline, UV, okay. You know we were talking about sprites last week, okay? Exactly, Jexus. There is no win state. I don't know whether it's a simulation of something. So message tokens are sprites because they're 2D, right? They're just 2D representations in this location. They're always facing you, right? Show don't tell is the thing you need to use exactly. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna check. This game doesn't have any achievements. See ya. I'm not gonna keep on reading all this crap. Refuse to believe, he says while he's looking through everything. I mean, if the person coding this game made all of that, it's kind of strange. I mean, he's this Coda character apparently. Yeah, no. Apparently leaves all these messages, trying to convince people that other people have left these messages. Here's a simple thing: if I were to play this, my first thought would be, how do I leave messages, and then how do I turn these messages off? Because these are super annoying. Don't give up. Behave in ways like sprites behave? Well, I guess. I mean, this is the major thing about a sprite, right? That whatever direction you look at them from, they always face you. Or, I guess, you know, that Duke Nukem thing of they have a side, they have a front, a back, that kind of thing. Stop pretending you're other people. This seems more like a cry for help than a game. I mean, this individual scene right now. You're gonna have meshes act like sprites, it's still called sprites in that instance.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
That was that's like the most obvious interpretation around. I was thinking this is going to be some kind of really in-depth, you have to know him to understand kind of thing. This is like, yeah, it's closing the door behind you before you open the door in front of you. You have to close the door behind you to move on. And we have all these stories about the past, present, exiting and entering, etc. This seems like a heavy-handed, autism is hard to live with kind of story.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces,
a liminal
before
space.
you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
My interpretation of the Coda character is a bit of an a-hole. Yeah, how do you leave notes? And there's the lamppost. Talk to? No! Why are you having so much difficulty with talking? Speak, speak, speak. I'm seriously thinking that if this is going to be a message about autism, it's poorly done. What?
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Hey, it's the pathway from your entering, your exiting. The two quote-unquote games. Serious though, this is the a level of game design that I could potentially reach, and that's saying something. I'm willing... Oh, it's the well we
See, like,
saw.
this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
I wouldn't have the ability to... Okay. But furniture ought to go in the center of the room. How about a TV with surround sound? Although a giant hole sounds good. I mean, I've always figured I could write something, but I probably wouldn't be able to design something. Let's put a huge... Yeah, 10 stoves. Which should light up this room a little bit. Skylight! Yes! Live Tesla coils in each corner. Yes, that's better than the skylight. A table, you need a table. Pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. And tables were not invented in 1935.
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Oh, please walk forward. Not yet. Well, sounds like the dev heard about mindfulness exercises, misinterpreted what it means, and accurately uses aspects of it to describe Coda's games. Really? What's that have to do with mindfulness? I mean, I don't know mindfulness much about mindfulness. Most of the things I hear about it, I laugh at. I think your autism theory is spot on. Having serious doubts about this quote-unquote game, yeah. That's me when studios want to hire narrative designers when they actually mean writers. Oh, I can... Yeah, I see what you mean there. Exactly. Tables were invented in 1935 is just... You know, butterfly pancakes. Oh, I'm so random. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Okay. Follow instructions carefully. Take care to remember each step. Okay. The 3 holes again. Click on the table. Okay. Good. Go over the photo frame. Click to turn it slightly. So, table, photo frame. Turn the floor in this room off and on. Table, painting, lamp. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally touch the shelves. I'm already forgetting the stuff. That's it, in real prison, the escape will now open. Return to start to be taken back to your prison. Okay. Table, painting, lamp, left couch, shelves. Quality of consciously closing
And
off...
of course,
Oh.
now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Of course. Whoa.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense
Seen this one
against
before.
yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Ah, there we go. So whole day of consciously closing off thing, taking time to consider it, and starting something new. Okay. Do a lot of mindfulness to help with the anxiety, other problems, huge help. Much of visualization exercise, none of this, take this pee, don't look at it, but feel the pee mumbo jumbo. Yeah, see, that's the part of mindfulness that I find displeasing. Like, you can see the core of the idea. So the way you're describing, yeah, if it's just visualization to help, process through something, or methods of steps, or looking at something, but I have a whole number of colleagues who are very much into the, I only know a Dutch phrase for it, the omdenken, to think around, where they go, you didn't fail, because if you just adjust your end outcome, then it turns out you've actually succeeded. I think, that makes no sense. Surely, at the start, there was something I tried to achieve, and I did it, or I didn't do it. It's like that picture that you see with a painting on the floor of a number, and then two people sitting to the side of it, and one's going, that's a 6. The other one's going, no, that's a 9. Well, they're both right. It depends on your perspective. That's the kind of stuff I think, no. Somebody painted a number on the floor, which meant it had a rotation to that person. That was a singular number. Asserting through your ignorance that you think it means something, and then demanding that your answer be correct is stupid rather than intelligent. Didn't fail if you change your goal post last minute. Exactly. No, what I can absolutely get is when people talk about that in the actual sense of, hey, meditation calms people down. Meditation focuses the mind. Learning how to set priorities and goals, and how to let go of priorities and goals helps, and how to, manage your own emotions. That's the kind of thing that's actually serious. The thing of, add a drop of lavender to bath, and you'll soak yourself calm. And yes, there was a Black Box reference. So this was supposed to be a game without the prison aspect that really hit on something for you. Let's go on a wild adventure, Bill and Ted. Oh. Hello? Who is this? This is me. I'm you after you escape from the prison. You're me? Yes, I'm you. Yep,
It's
was
a conversation.
in the
And so
furniture
this
base.
is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
Which
The
ends up
irony
being
is that
himself.
even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. All of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
I think there's tremendous power in being able to reframe things. I have a little book of happy, exactly. A little book of calm. I think added to that to me is mindfulness, horse crap added on to so-called trainers designed to make money. Yeah, exactly. Of saying, buy this new book, which tells you the 10 things you already knew. But yeah, being able to reframe, being able to contextualize is a good thing. Like, getting to a point where you're not doing something and thinking about it, and then realizing, actually, the reason I'm not doing this is because I kind of don't want to do it. I just think I want to do it. And then, reframing it and going, hey, let's do something else. Let's do something constructive. That's powerful. The type of mindfulness that I'm talking about, that Jexus is keying in on, exactly, the added crap to it is the stuff oh god, what is it? Like the most of the 7 habits of highly effective people kind of crap. It's like some of them, like one of them is actually, why am I saying like all the time? One of them is actually just buy a diary. But then they frame it in this whole spiritual side of things where the actual thing is just buy a diary, write down when your appointments are. You know what? I kind of miss being in prison. Maybe I only like things once I don't have them anymore. Yeah, exactly, Jexus. I think I'll find a way to change. You'll be fine. And the wine popsicles, I've forgotten about those. Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. Yeah, exactly, Jexus. It's, Alex and I were talking about something similar regarding to budgeting and financing earlier, where the entire thing is actually just being aware of what you're doing. Because once you're not aware, and that's what I've had the past year, when you're not actively making financial choices, you start losing money because you're not paying attention. And the only difference is actively thinking, what do I want to do with this money? Per actual euro that you have, think, where's this going? And it's that awareness, that's all it is. All they told me is to be sincere. Getting down right now, your plans for the next day helps you sleep? Yeah, doesn't surprise me either. Exactly, like Jexus, you nail it down, and that's the same thing with the budget as well. Once you've decided, you just have less uncertainty. People in modern always seem to have one in the past, didn't on a day, it's seemingly frowned upon, these were around. I'm thinking diaries, I'm using the word diary as a planner, a schedule here, rather as in a diary of reflecting on what you did during the day. Just be sincere. That's what you do. Yourself, man. Oh, that's what you need to figure out in order to escape. So deep.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
This feels like a suicide note. Just this
So
game.
what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Okay, yeah, good. You've never been more content in your life than when you kept your journal? And stuff down about how what you're feeling, what you're doing, need to be doing has helped you a lot? I can imagine, yeah. It's, it was Anne who actually got me into starting to use a bullet journal, which I've been doing for the past 3 weeks? 3 weeks now. Crap, I still need to update that one. Talk about how badly that worked today. Today I didn't really use that much of a bullet journal. I got sunk into Subnautica and just didn't really feel like anything.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
But yeah, I can see how managing your own mental state and managing your own experiences, it helps writing things down because it makes them, it gives you an overview, doesn't it? It helps you recognize what's happening to you, what you're doing. For me, it's more about organizing and making sure I get, to-do list, making sure I do everything I need to do. Because I feel very dissatisfied
You'll
with
notice
myself.
that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
But yeah, I feel very dissatisfied with myself if I don't get enough done. I feel disappointed. Like, today was a bit of a disappointing day to me, because at the end of the day I look at myself and I think, what kind of a lazy slob are you? I could have done more to... I should have done more really, like simple things, like take out the trash, update the diary, the bullet journal, maybe write a nice letter to Tracy, you know, things that have value. And he ended up doing something that has kind of very little value, playing through a game a load at a time. And that makes me feel disappointed, you know? Are we cleaning the whole place? That's the story, little one. Okay. There's mess in no time. Promise you was there was more? Sure, I'll clear the table. Oh, there's a quest system now. Yeah, the narrator is, oh, that was easy. Yeah, run to the bedroom, make the bed, sure. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the narrator, he has this whole thing of, oh, this is going to be very, you know, important, very fancy, very... But it isn't really. You get those feelings, Uthor? Like to wave them as they pass by? Aww. Stopped a fight, bought groceries, and reached out to her friend. See, that sounds meaningful. Sunday you work hard, need to be able to do stuff you enjoy. Should no point feel bad about that. Taking the trash is a 2-minute job, you can do that during the break. Here's the thing. I feel better about myself when I've done the things that are important to me. And when I end up not doing the things that I find important, such as keeping a clean home, writing a physical letter to Tracy because I know she appreciates that, being able to hold something in her hands that I held in my hands that I wrote with effort to her. You know, those are things that are important to me. And then when I give up those more higher value long-term goals for short-term amusement, it lessens the experience for me. Basically, I realized that what I've done was less valuable. I haven't been the person that I wanted to be. That's kind of the thing. So do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Yeah, and I think, like Alex is saying, it doesn't need to be much. It just needs to, you know, I need to feel I've done something positive, something that matters. Interesting enough, I have the same as Clean Man over here. I do feel a kind of calm when I clean the house as well. Incredibly cheesy personal insight. Make it especially cheesy, please. No, it wasn't. Sure, wash the dishes. If only it went that quickly in real life. Okay, sure. Well, just human, he says. Lies. Or was it here, right? Scrub the tub. Oh, that is nice and clean. Let's have a look at those books. We'll clean the desk as well.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Setting your goals and meeting them, hugely rewarding, fills your needs for autonomy. Exactly. Exactly, Chacha. That's what I enjoy as well. And Jex says, I get it for perfectionists, yeah. When that's a problem of dark thoughts spiraling into a negative self-image, yes, that's a dangerous line of thought. For people that trend that way. But in this case, it's more of it's a call to action, a desire to be a better person than I am. I want to be better. It's like the dissatisfaction you feel when you haven't gone for a run and that run is something you're trying to do. There's the difference between not actually wanting to go on a run and then avoiding it because you don't want to, and then finally accepting that you don't actually want to go on a run, or that knowledge of you want to go on runs, but you're finding excuses not to go on it because, I don't know, excuses. That kind of, that's the feeling I'm talking about. Are all houses so easy to clean? You'll also stick out this truly wonderful, beautiful experiences. None of them will be the ones that were easy. Now, that is the truth.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
One's house, a lot like one's soul. Yeah, that's Russian formalism. That's no surprise. Take care of it and take care of you. That's because you're a weirdo. Do you have to talk about running? You really want to go on a run? Tend to trend in a really shitty direction left to your own. Having places of wrinkles helpful. Yeah, that's the thing, Chacha. Here's an interesting thing that I ran into that you might feel interesting as well. I heard something about what was it again? Micro habits? I think it was micro habits. Somebody saying just do 3 micro habits. Like, instead of saying I'm gonna wash all the dishes, just set yourself a goal of I'm gonna wash 1 dish. Because the thing is, it's more important to regularly do something like that, to build on a habit like that, than it is to do all of the dishes in one go. And the thing is, 1 dish you've already accomplished something, and then it's easy to realize, hey, I'm already here, I've already done most of the work, let's do the rest of the dishes. But these micro things help you build on something. Build up a small habit, then build on that habit, then build on that habit, and make it something larger. Another example was floss 2 teeth. Because then, or I think it started off with even floss a tooth. Because once you floss, you think, while I'm here. But you've already attained your goal. And again, build on that. It was weird, but it works. Swimming. Oh, that's a good one, Huther. Yeah, I'd like to go swimming as well. If we keep talking about running, you're gonna have to go and lie down just because you're so tired about thinking of run. Big now some tasks, run because you're programmed big now task all you do. Ah, yeah. There's a bit of truth in it, though. Exactly, floss 1 tooth. But yeah, it's easy to achieve. Nick's looking forward to it. It's been long. Ready to get swole? Yeah, swimming. I think fondly of swimming. I haven't done it in years.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace. But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
By the way, this is called an interstitial. In case you didn't know. So there's 2 interesting phrases. Liminal, which is the border of things. Because a limen used to be old Latin word meaning like bridge, crossing, separation. That's why you also get subliminal, like subliminal advertising, subliminal messaging, liminal below the actual border of consciousness in that case. And this place is a place in between two limen, two borders. So that's why it's called an interstitial place. Interstitial means a room between spaces. It's a non-space. So like this, if that is really it, like there's life and this is a nothing space, this would be interstitial. Really? You just floss whenever, Chacha? That was impressive, because I kind of need to floss, but I don't do it as much as I should. You've lost about 20 kilos? Really? All for the exercise? But yeah, exactly. Exercise to get the energy to stay up, yeah.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move.
Kind of want to get into exercising again a little bit as well. Just, be a little bit more healthy. I've been walking to and from work every single day.
This one gets a bit
since
goofy.
September. That's about 40 minutes of walking a day. Well, okay. That's actually a good idea to build that habit, Cha-Cha. Wow, okay.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
What? I'm not gonna teach Sauron to be perfect.
As the teacher, and suddenly you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
By the way, I love this. See the options? This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Which is what you're supposed to be saying, but the other one is, on the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their dreams. I kind of like this, the hidden thoughts. I think about this with Facebook posts, where people only take photos of the happy moments in their lives, and it's all, oh, look at me, I'm eating a new keto smoothie type of thing. And they never post something like, yeah, I ate a whole candy bar right now. I feel pretty disgusted with myself. Yeah, this is not a game. Tricking everyone in self-improvement. It does spark conversation by being awful. Let's walk around a little bit. Can we jump this? Kids should not follow their dreams. And being alone must be awful. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. It's like the story of my life. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you, buddy. This is for you, all you listeners. Haha, just kidding. Yeah, actually, holy shit. Watch the back of the room. Come on. Everyone run! Run!
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most
Perfection.
relatable experiences that you can have.
Oh yeah, this happens to me every
Assume
day.
that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
I do notice that about your Twitter chat.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before
Vaden, that
this,
is
and it's not like
hilarious.
it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Cheeseburgers, wow. You just see a private one? Wow. That is frightening. I don't think I've even bought some chocolate. That's what I'm doing real well at, by the way. I'm saving a lot of money right now, and I've also cut back just enormously on the licorice and the chocolates that I bought to just, you know, to snack on. And I started snacking on fruits in moderation. You know, I know the whole sugars thing. Healthier nuts, just, you know, snacking fewer unhealthy products and more products which are less unhealthy. Oh, there we go. Best. Oh. Nope, not singing. In this scene, you will be playing as me. Okay. We are at a gathering of professionals. Okay. First, you start leaning out against this wall. Okay, I lean. Oh, we lean over there. Okay. Lean. Good. Stay right there. Stay right there. The one across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. It's your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Where's the bathroom? Sauteed chard? I've never heard of that. Sorry, I have to leave. Your animal brain make decisions, that is so true. Have an actual conversation. Do it again. Okay. I'm super scared right now. It's not what I said to her at all. Completely missing the tone of the conversation. It was deserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment. But I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them represent the people nearby. They bounce? Whee! This is wonderful. I'm a ping pong ball. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. Figure out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly? Don't worry. Whee! Stepping back from the stage. Whoa! When did that get there? Oh look, end of the game. Into that dark, deep abyss. And we're back in the prison. This is what it was like.
With
Okay.
this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life.
He's gonna get
The
jailed for
solution,
his
social
murdering
anxiety
loads and loads of children.
to fears of having to perform and having to chase success. The answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Is this game gonna have an actual game content? To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Okay, chat. you're gonna have to tell me how I'm doing. Because I can't read chat like this. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna keep my eyes closed. How can I prove this to you? Hold up. How can I prove this to you, he says, as though he's not on camera. Okay. Playing a game with eyes closed. Let's go. Okay, what's happening? Can I do anything? What is... I'm not hearing any feedback. Can I jump? I'm hearing sirens? Fire? Wait, what? What happened? Did I die?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's
Okay.
pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Best game ever. Wait, is this... Ugh. Wait, we're crashing into a giant door? Stop engaging with the quote-unquote game. What's going on? Help, I'm blind! Something enormous just appeared on the radar. Can we do anything? I can't die like this, I can't die like this! Wait, I'm trying to find shields. Please, someone talk to me! I can't see anything either. Shields, you want to activate shields, huh? I'm blind. SS Whisper, oh god. That was intense. More of a story presented as a game? Yeah, exactly. So we're supposed to activate the shields, huh? Oh, we activate the shields. Oh, it's the 3 dots again. But, tell me how to solve this. Okay, there we go. Oh, that was where the ending was. So Star Trek Bridge. Let's get on this lift. Truth. The only way to stop is to speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. That's it. That's the truth. Wow.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been
Straining
this
me.
explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep
haven't been
themselves
honest.
disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
I'm stuck in it. I regret my Steam purchase.
His games are going to get
Oh,
more
that would be
desperate
good.
from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
I don't know. No Country for Old Men was good though. This is, yeah, a little under half an hour to refund. Actually, I bought this like I think I bought this months ago, maybe a year or so ago. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. No Country for Old Men has a charm to it. The novel, I kind of want to read the novel, but this is so ham-fisted. It's just... Where did this island come from? This is like the longest journey, except bad. Is that a person? Oh, lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. Oh no! What's happened? Did something change? Trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Oh god, this is so badly written. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know what it is. It isn't far. It's right to the side of you. You can press a button and make this all end. I need to see it. Could only take one film with you to Deserted Island. You had to choose between The Room and No Country for Old Men. It would not be The Room. Yeah, okay, but you know, you can only see The Room so many times and laugh at it.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore.
He
Why?
keeps
What is it
producing shit. Just utter shit. And he keeps going on. I have an admiration. It's like a car wreck and I can't look away. Oh, look. Fake imagery. Are we going to talk about Zen soon? The complete misunderstanding of Zen, you know, correlating it to relaxation? Wait, Joshua, here's where I think this is really falling apart. In the beginning, framed as a way to encourage Code to make games again. Now it's just Code as a sad person. Exactly. It started as a way to celebrate his works. Now it's more like a college psych class. Exactly. A special weakness for anything by Cormac McCarthy? And it turned out it was a good idea to stream this game. This is hilarious. Yeah, this is like The Room.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Let's face it, this is like a teenager, you know, wearing all black, writing bad poetry in, you know, a journal. Exactly, Uthor. You're tearing me apart, Coda. I did not code it. I did not. God, I want to watch A Room again. And apparently the disaster artist is not supposed to be that bad. First, you have to open the door. Last game's going to be Stanley Parable. That would be amazing. Now you have to close the first door. Yeah, exactly. The walking backward one, Jaja, that was interesting. Special weakness for anything Coen Brothers do with except two things, Barton Fink and No Country. I haven't seen Barton Fink. Just press the switch. Yeah.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation.
Huge assumptions about loneliness and
into
Coda.
your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Thank you. I hope you're
Now you're trolling like the game, Vaden. That is hilarious. Now you can't sub. Coda's won! You can't do anything! You have no choice. Vaden has made this choice for you. Oh. It's so deep. Really? Crying little sounds. It's just words and some walls. Words I've said just now. I have to say that your work is fun and easy. I have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Really? Wow. When's the rest of the BDSM going to start? You have to say that it's fun and easy. Right, making games is effortless. These are all things that I've said. That feels wonderful, but it wasn't true! Just keep talking, just lie to yourself. Just keep on lying to yourself. I have $1 million. Let's spend everything I own. I am constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Have you checked out Dr. Langeskov, the Tiger, Terribly Cursed Emerald, the Whirlwind Heist? I have never heard of that. It's a 50-minute heist game? That sounds good. Can you link that in the Discord, Jaxus? Every time I make something, I feel better about myself.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to
None
suddenly
of
become
this is
angry
helping.
and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Literally none of this is helping. I don't think it will. It always pays off eventually, right? Right, guys?
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it.
War is peace.
I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Transistor, though, it's been on, what was it, 80% off just recently? I kind of want to buy it on sale like that. Wow. I believe this unquestioningly. I am a vessel for certainty. Exactly. How about it's the worst thing? Exactly. My friend's having issues. I felt so bad. I mean, here I was with my wonderful life. Everything was going fine for me. Why couldn't he just be happy for me?
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Seriously, it started off, literally, the start of this entire thing was, let's celebrate Coda and all the interesting things that he made, all the beautiful things that teaches about him, into, oh, woe is me, let me tell you about this shithead. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation when you like. I intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned, someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. What a shock. Fellas, hi. Hi. Twitch.tv/Byronigamer, Twitch.tv/Byronigamer, Patreon.com/Byronigamer, YouTube.com/Byronigamer, Twitter. No, don't find me on Twitter. But it's also Byronigamer. Just join all of that. Follow, like, subscribe. Bees!
And of course, it's the machine.
What are these boxes of black bees doing here? You stopped. You stopped feeding us. It's only through your creations that any of us could make it through every day. So here's what's gonna happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize. No? Nothing? I have seen the thing you fear. This is gonna be full-on torture. Black bees, you can see them at night. I haven't even thought about that. Alright then, I will speak to them for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Twitch.tv/Byronigamer. My followers. It falls on me to deliver bad news. This game might go on for an hour. Maybe 2, we do not know. But take heart, we will get through this. Even if it means uninstalling the game and never thinking about it again, we will persevere. Like the occasional noise you get, like when we're on stage, looked at the auditorium seats. Yeah, that was nice. The creator Fez, Fezzy McFez, I will pull out that Fez, don't worry about it. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We'll find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. The purge begins now! Follow me, we will destroy the machine. You there, Soviet reporter, come with me. Oh, we're back here, are we? O suave fanciulla. No? Okay, we're singing with a rifle, apparently. Finally, the game gives me what I want. Code, I'll make sure your work dies here! Ah, this is so... This is what this game has been building up to. Now what you're scared of, having to live without your precious creations, having to deal with yourself! I finally get to destroy the very game itself.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive.
Ah, this is
And I'll
so
tell you,
good.
At the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games.
No,
It might
no he
get
doesn't.
him out of isolation.
This shit will...
So, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate.
I
Because
get
it would
to
never occur to
destroy
Coda
his
to start
games.
actively soliciting feedback. So, what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral?
Coda committed suicide,
Would it give
didn't
him
he?
confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Cathartic, that's exactly what this is. Die, Coda Games! Ah, yes.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games.
Were they
You know,
mentally
part of it all
ill?
was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Let's ignore a person's wishes, do something he didn't agree to. Exactly. Definition of consent. Right, he didn't want to show these things. And literally, what happens when he does this, right? He shows his games and he goes, hey, I showed it to everyone and they really liked it. Dude, I didn't make these. These are about my own personal feelings. This is my expression of my inner thoughts, turmoils, and tragedy. This is like your therapist showing his notes to everybody else. I can literally not move around. I can only shoot.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
No!
Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really
What?
connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something,
Horrible.
I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good
Like
person.
I
Felt
was
like
so
there was
good.
a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
You don't fix
They told me
him.
how much they enjoyed his games. It was the best feeling. It's the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy.
You were so self-centered.
Beautifully happy.
It's like, he was in trouble, but you know what I did? I did what made me happy. Because, you know, he's exactly the same as me. My solution applies to him,
So
right?
anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything
Exactly,
from him
man.
for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
We are playing Coda's games. Yep. He made us complicit in this crap.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
I like the architecture, actually. This is pretty cool.
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
You know, this is what it feels like to deal with other people. Coda's equivalent to suicide note? Yep, it is. It has to be. Willing to bet some awkward speedrun and manage to complete it? Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's just, it's so ham-fisted. It's...
And to be fair,
And the
it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning.
And the character, the narrative
that one
is
used
so
to
annoying.
actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Hold on. So at this point he says, my friend makes the most beautiful games. Well, I mean, he made some stuff and then I had to change it so that I liked it and I could present it to you. And it's just that when I couldn't figure out what his game was, those are the bad games, because I'm the ultimate arbiter of what's a good game. Oh, what engine is this? No idea. It's an achievement for completing it. Known engine tricks you probably would need to do the actual maze. Yeah, I bet. I mean, that's how they speedrun all the Half-Lives and so on, right? And then we have to turn on all
only way
the lights.
past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code.
Really?
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here.
It's like the combination
I'll put the code
an
on the ground
idiot
for you
had
here, though, so that we
on
can
his
move on.
suitcase. 15, 16, 17? Okay. It's exactly what a narrator did, effectively. Yeah. 15, 16, 17. Okay. What if I could commit suicide by jumping off? End this experience. Whee! Just the message.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess. Well, I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
I figured something out. Here's my theory. Remember, Coda seems quite an intelligent person, quite a thoughtful person. Think about the things where something like this. Every single conclusion that our narrator has been drawing so far, you cannot draw unless you start editing the game itself. He constantly keeps saying, why would you do this? A player wouldn't see this. Let's talk about the fiction. Coda is sending these things to him. Coda is trying to talk to him using these levels. It's never meant to be for a player. It's never meant to be a player going through this. Coda is using game design to talk to him, to try to explain things to him. Like this. You can't help me, don't fix this, don't solve this. And this narrator, this jerkbag of a non-friend, keeps trying to fix his games and misses the point entirely. That's the real meaning of this game. Boom! Argue that Coda made art, now games with the first. Yeah, I can see that. Narrator just misses the point. Yes. Exactly. It's Coda who's trying to help the narrator. Coda keeps bringing him messages. And all of this nonsense is the narrator just not listening to Coda in the slightest. I mean, isn't that your first conclusion? Something like this, the player could not do this. The only way you would know is by editing the game, which means he made it for an editor.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
Yes! That's exactly
I don't know
the
why
point.
I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
And that is why you fail.
I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself,
I'm a real asshole.
I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is.
Can I
It
jump
wasn't
off?
the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For
No,
years I
I
was
can't
trying
even
to
jump.
get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him.
That's
I
what
asked
he's
him
doing
please
the
to tell me
entire
what
time.
the 3 dots mean,
See, 3 dots.
and he wouldn't.
Coat him with a bamboozler? Yeah, no. Let me just... Oh, I was hoping to jump down, but... This game is just aggravating, is what it is. Game, quote-unquote game. Seriously, I now feel guilty that Vane unsubscribed Chacha to the channel.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy.
Are you
It
kidding
was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Okay, I'm calling it now. He has a twin who was separated from him at birth by the midwife Florence. The twin is secretly swapping places between Coda and the narrator constantly. You see, the actual Coda is long since gone. There's just one person who's both the narrator and Coda. You know what Coda means in music, right? Oh god, I forgot. That's the coda is the... no, wait, that's the key I'm thinking of. It's... wait, that is the key symbol, isn't it? Telling us the meaning, things we should be drawing our own conclusion from, or your meaning from. Proving the narrator's an idiot? Exactly. Thinking of a different game, that's Tomb Raider. Oh, wait. I thought Tomb Raider was the one where there's these 3 triangles that you have to get together. You play this little guy in a green outfit. What's the guy called? Zelda, that's his name, right? Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you to not to speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I?
Yeah, because you're
Because of what I did.
Yeah.
I poisoned it for you.
Yeah. You're the jerk. The passage brings the movement to an end. Ah, is that the one? That's what it is. That's Luigi. No. Luigi is the guy who's in the suit in Metroid. And he punches all the Pokemon to, fight the brain, right? By the way, this is the best. I'm having so much respect for Coda right now. He makes this whole game to explain to him, like, hey, dude, back off, you psycho stalker jerkbag. Coda, you tell him.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt...
dirty?
It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Also marks a return to beginning. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. Oh, Coda, you tell him. You tell that stupid narrator. You so infected my personal space that it's possible...
the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say.
Oh, trust me,
even though I was
nobody
showing
did
your
that.
work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Exactly. Give them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Exactly, it's a violation. Stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? He's okay. That's the first little twist here. Davy's the one who added the lampposts. That's interesting. Which makes this game Davy's another cry for help, to want to be interesting. So he adds these lampposts so that he can string them together and say, "That's when he started adding the lampposts to the games. Isn't that fascinating? Aren't I interesting?" I hate this thing so much. Yeah. She's
And
simply...
then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people.
Yeah.
I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all.
Because you have no personality.
Less than nothing.
And I'm around you, I feel physically
What does
ill.
that mean?
It means you're an asshole. Desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Yup. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. Yeah. In fact, did you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me? Ah! Preach it, Coda. Unless this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Just fine, not my problem to solve. Do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling. With this
I'm
thing
afraid
you are
that I
wrestling.
did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Aww, feel so sad for you. This is like, if the point of the game was to get us to get on the side of the narrator and feel sorry for himself, this is not the way. All this entire game has done is made me feel frustrated and annoyed with the narrator and hate him for apparently having problems, which is exactly the thing the game is supposed to argue you shouldn't be doing. Coach just changed their screen name. When you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. Yeah. Yep, this thing is terrible. Yes, Coda, you did it.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work.
No!
Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach
No!
you. I've tried everything.
Respect his
And
wishes.
So a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it,
You're doing
that
the
maybe
worst
enough
thing.
people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry.
You're
I know I
sorry
screwed up.
by screwing up
If
again?
I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in.
Wow.
Is something wrong with me?
Yes.
Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Well, was this supposed to be deep? Plot and presentation, you hate it all? Yeah, it started out interesting. It started out promising. If it literally was a documentary of, here's a very interesting indie games, here's how the thoughts string together, how they inspired, literal documentary style of this is what's beautiful about all these games, here, learn some things about game design and level design, that would have been interesting. This is...
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more.
Why are you telling me more?
It's like a disease.
No more. All points that narrates a broken and shit person, which we figured out halfway in. Yes. Is this Half-Life 2? No, screw you. Visualizing the voice actor recording those lines. Oh god, that must have been so terrible. I'm acting. It's going to be deep. Is there something wrong with me? Oh look, a clock with no hands. That's surrealist, isn't it? This is like one of the few games I know that I'm literally here just wanting it to be over. Oh, trippy. This is going where you think it is. You're about to be turbo mad.
I guess if someone had
Where-
told
where do
me
you think
ahead
it's
of
going?
time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
Wait, you started gossiping about him as well?
Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Maybe you should have messed with his personal expression. Train as Chesterfield coaches? Good
Even
train.
now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are.
Wait, what?
They'll hate you.
Oh, that's what he's telling himself. Okay. Yep, let's drown everything in sand. Protection of own feeling and depression? Yeah, I can imagine that. If it's going where you're... If it's going there, you're out? I can imagine. I can imagine it's going somewhere like that. Light the first fire. Seriously, I've played walking simulators. We've done Ethan Carter. We've done, oh god, what's the other one?
If I knew
What
that
remains
my life
of-
depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Yeah, you want to know the difficult one? Try and imagine a world without capitalism. That's how ingrained capitalism is. Let's go into the blue one. Can I
What
just
now?
throw myself off this? No? If he says it explicitly, swear to God, he will probably... Yeah, Edith Finch. I was just about to say it, but then he started talking again. I mean, those were walking simulators, but those were good.
I think I need to go.
Those were interesting, elusive.
And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this.
Oh yeah, because we really need you for
Starting
this.
to feel like I have a lot of work to do.
On yourself.
I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna...
Yeah.
Okay.
Just leave. Feels marks, man. That would be amazing. Those are good games, yeah. They are 1, games, and 2, good. And 3, good games. Don't mind those walking games at all, if what they're presenting is interesting, exactly. And this has not been interesting in the slightest. I feel... The frustration to me is, it's trying to make a point about this type of experience, of the struggle people can go through, but it's so missing the point. It's so misrepresenting it and giving just a bad message. How about we just stand here and wait for this thing to crush us. Oh, it literally can't crush us unless we're exactly on this line. Oh, the music suddenly stops. Were we supposed to feel emotional? No! It's starting again. And 4, game's good? Yes. Game's good. The opening was okay? Exactly. It felt like a documentary into experimental design. Yes, and that was the interesting part. But exactly, as you're saying, the twist in the framing ruins it. Yeah, exactly, Chacha. I think I haven't experienced these types of feelings myself, but it just seems to... It's so hypocritical in its representation. It's about appropriation, yes. Feeling of entitlement to game developers' intellectual property. That could have been interesting. Yeah, I agree. We're just gonna walk backwards. Coda, you were right all along. Oh no, it's a callback! Are we gonna float up? Or are we just gonna die? We don't know, it's gonna fade to black. What does it say about the game? It makes me feel so small. What a point. Ah, it's a maze. It's a labyrinth. If this zooms out to show a face, I'm gonna be super annoyed. It just made me feel so small when I saw the entire labyrinth. Just let this be over with. There's serious issues, they're painting them in some kind of tragic beauty. Yep. Oh, if it's a giant kappa, that would be amazing. A giant kappa face. Ah. And there's just a little text. Don't worry, I know what we did just now. I'm just trolling you. Oh. So emotional right now.
Turn back.
Oh, it's an actual person it refers
Back
to.
from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
That is the best expression, Cha-Cha.
And miles and miles.
Exactly. This feels like 2 hours from not getting back.
And you're so tired. But I know that you're
I kind of feel like just not watching these credits.
so turn
Or we could watch these credits and think, do you feel proud of yourself? Do you feel proud of what you've done? Are you happy with this? I guess I scared away all the letters. Feels like, what if George Lucas gets unlimited resources to make another Star Wars prequel? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, this was awful. This was absolutely awful, Jexes. Dr. Langeskov game, supposed to be funny and short. It has a 9 out of 10, Huthor? No, no, this is not worth a 9 out of 10. This is nonsense. This is outright nonsense. Also, what is this, a lump on my arm? That's a weird little bump. Pretentious idiots, it's so deep, exactly. Let me put it this way, Alex. If somebody ever tries to make me play shit like this again, I will crawl out of this monitor and I will slap you in the face. So. You're enjoying when we first came in? Want to tell you to shut up? Yeah, I was enjoying it at the start as well. Well, let's enjoy quitting this game. That was the best part of the game. Actually, you know what? I'm going to load it up again to try that one again. To experience the best part of this game. That feels good. Superman 64 would be the worst gameplay experience you ever saw. Okay. What was Jexus saying? Dr. Langeskov, what kind of game is that? Is that on Steam? Because if that's 15 minutes, we'll do a playthrough and then just leave it there. From the designer of the Stanley Parable. What are you doing, Jexus? Okay, let's download that quickly. Game's so nice, you want to quit it twice? Yes. There we go. We have the game. Let's go and play that. Make sure we 1920 by 1080. Yep. Get away with your press Windows G. Graphics quality, cardboard, copper, gold, or emerald. Let's go emerald. Display 2. Shouldn't be display 2, but we'll see. We'll see. Is that... Okay. Cardboard, copper, gold, emerald. Okay, sure. Languages. English. Would give this game to Donald Trump. What is the verdict on the beginner's guide? It is horrifyingly bad. It is such a waste of time. I think watching The Room would be a better way to spend 2 hours than playing the beginner's guide. It had no point. It was ham-fisted about delivering that terrible point. It had a point, and that point was wrong. That was outright wrong. A misrepresentation. It was... Now I know why I feel dirty. It was the designer just masturbating all over our faces. That's what this is. That's why it's so terrible. Now that spoilers have passed. I think that's what we did the past 30 minutes. Yeah, pretty much. You can get more out of the room. Exactly. Sorry for calling it a game. What wrong point? I think the main wrong point, in my opinion, is there's this character, this main character, the narrator, that Davy. He has this connection to Coda. So this whole point is, oh, he's presenting these games Coda has, and he's talking about how Coda is in trouble, and then it reveals at the end, oh, hey, actually, the designer himself is in trouble, he's doing these bad things to Coda, and that's what we're supposed to feel for, and we're supposed to empathize with him. But in the design of the game itself, we're already pushed in the direction of disliking the narrator because he's doing all these things. And at the end, we're supposed to instantly flip into feeling sorry for him. So we're left to feel upset with this person, this disagreeable person. Because he's dealing with something that we should empathize with, but just because of the person he is, it's just made, just awful. Got the plot twist very early, like super, yeah. Relationship between the artist and the person experiencing those games. Well, actually, no, that's the irony of it. It isn't. Don't think you're supposed to feel sorry for him? It's the thing about media, there's no relationship between the artist and person experiencing. Exactly, yeah. It's really kind of not. Exactly what Huther's saying, that's the point. It's supposed to be like that, but it turns out it's not. Because if you think about it, Coda designs things for Davy not to be played. he's sending them these things, and he means for Davy to edit them, because that's the only way he sees so many of these hidden messages. His games were not meant to be played. His games were meant to be seen as games. Did you arrest the game resenting the fact you had to play it? Yeah. Forget the twist to it rips apart? Yeah. Exactly. It's a no-shit Sherlock moment. Well, if we're not supposed to feel sorry for the narrator at the end, what are we supposed to feel? This feeling of superiority, that we have a healthy mind and he doesn't? That's an even worse message. The only artist-consumer relationship commentary appears at the end was really ham-fisted. Exactly. Exactly. And even then, in the story of it itself, it's the artist basically saying, stop doing this. I'm making this specifically as a letter to you to shut up and stop. Doesn't design them for Davy, he designs them for himself. Well, the last one, he definitely designs them for Davy, but that's the entire point. Love the game's very creation. Wow, that's harsh. Meant to feel sick for having played the game's code and never intended to be released to the world. I don't know. I guess there's that, but then, you know, there's the added annoyance of Davy then realizing that at the end and then releasing the game and again doing it in spite of Coda's wishes. But as a story like that goes, is supposedly a drama story where that kind of no wait, that's not Aristaya. Actually, there's a moment of Aristaya when Davy as a narrator realizes it. But you're supposed to actually, yeah, that there is a feeling of catharsis that you're supposed to then get by feeling sorry for him. But again, that feeling of catharsis is okay. Here's the point. I'm gonna be let me see if I can Aristaya, that is A-R-I, sorry, S-T-E-I-A. That's supposed to be that finest moment of a character. In this goes back to Aristotle. Aristotle describing what drama is, and this is specifically about epic poetry, but he applies it to loads of narrative literature, etc. That's supposed to be the finest moment of a hero, where they show their inner goodness. That is missing here. Hold on, what's the problem saying? You feel like you're supposed to think that if you ever wanted a developer to build a game in a particular way, then that's kind of shitty. Yeah, that could also be read into that, I think, yeah. It's the intended point. The problem is this pretty crap representation of the artist-consumer relationship, because in that instant there should be no relationship, yeah. Experience being created for us, Coda Davy, are all fictional, yeah. I mean, that's the double thing, of course. Now we're looking at it in the fiction of Coda and Davy, but there's also, of course, indeed the fiction that they're trying to have us, the thing they're trying to have us experience. Experience is shitty, manipulative, heavy-handed, and horrible. Yeah, manipulative. That's a good word for that, yeah. Not every story has to have a moment of catharsis. I disagree. I think every story, by definition, is an expression of catharsis. Because if you don't feel for, now I'm going to be saying the A word, art, if you don't feel for any art, any movie, any novel, then why are you reading it? Then you're so passive as a consumer that there's no point to it anymore. Also, my chat keeps flipping into something. I don't know what it is, but it's all red and then it disappears. Goes basically angry that Davy is trying to find meaning in a non-game game. How does the narrator get his hands on Coda's game? I didn't catch that. Oh, he gets sent those. Exactly what Jex is saying. That's what stories are for. Wow, Vanan, I like that. If he was truly sorry, why put a price tag on it? Now, I mean, if we look at authorial intentions, which I have some trouble with thinking that's, you know, a relevant thing. But if we put outside this frame, there's a designer who wanted us to have some kind of experience. He wanted us to feel something for this game at the end. So if the argument is, hey, we're supposed to feel sick with this narrator who gets messed up, but if you think about it, what is the ending in that case? The ending was us having to live through the thing that the narrator was describing. He is again pushing off his own problems on somebody else, us, the player. Davies' findings meaning he thinks being expressed, trying to show Coda people love his work. David then feels like shit because that was selfish. Yeah. In the end, Coda keeps getting David more fuel for these fires. Is your chat messed up too, Vanen? Just because art doesn't make it good or worthwhile? Yeah. Stories are meaningful, not necessarily because of structure. Catharsis is part of traditionally structured stories. We live in a postmodern era. Well, even postmodernism is gone. But postmodernism itself, for one, is an overused term, particularly when you don't understand postmodern philosophy. Postmodernism is very easy to say that something is postmodern. This, very clearly, was not a postmodern experience. The narrative was wholly linear. The narrative was metafictional, but not postmodern. If this was postmodern, we would have just had scraps of games, but even then, there is the desire to interpret this in a longer context. Now, it's metafictional in the sense that Davy, the narrator, is trying to create a fictional through line, and Coda might make the argument saying there is no fictional through line, I'm just making these experiments and expressing things. But that doesn't make it postmodern. It's told in a linear way. That just makes it metafictional. It's not necessarily the structure that makes the story meaningful, I agree, but I think every story does end up having a moment of catharsis, or at least a moment of sympathy with characters. That is, I think, a central concept of it. We're supposed to feel something, we're supposed to be moved, we're supposed to be excited. I am not convinced that there's a story that isn't supposed to convince you of something. And when I say convince, I mean try to get a thought across. You pirated it? Good for you, Ghost. At least you could have deleted it as well. You'll agree that you think you like this game more because you didn't buy it. See, that I can imagine. You bullet journal, wasted my time with the beginner's guide? Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Jexus wanted to see Dr. Langeskov, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald. Same creators, apparently. 15-minute game. Let's have a look. Move with WASD and interact with left click. Man walks into a room. The room is blue. He sat in a chair. The end. Oh, use vents to stay hidden from guards. Okay. Jexus, I think something went wrong with your game.
Okay, 2 minutes. This is your 2 minutes. Are the intro crews ready? Can we check if the orchestra is ready, please?
Oh, exactly, Jexus.
In the ballroom, can we get somebody on that as soon as possible? Okay, just waiting for a go from Pyro. Do you have anybody in the weapon department?
Hey, that would have at least moved me, Alex. A punch in the face? That would have excited me.
No problem. 1 minute. Break a leg, everybody. Positions, please. Performance 237. Beginning in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking of that. Catharsis is something very specific. Depends on the context that you discuss it in. If you're talking about epic poetry, catharsis is a very, very specific term. I absolutely agree. However, it is also widely used in theater, in film, in narrative theory. Catharsis, as Aristotle defined it, not necessarily, but I think you can talk about catharsis without minimizing it to one specific... Okay. Without one very, very specific definition. Crows. Oh, wait. Wait, I missed what Huther said. Problem is that the bombshell moment is total manipulation, yeah. Completely missed a piece of information that's crucial to understanding it in exchange for that moment and tries to frame it in such a way should gain some sort of retroactive insight. Yeah, exactly. Problem is you cannot possibly have that insight because of the design withholding the information. Yeah, there's no puzzling to it. Although I'm not sure that's necessarily needed for a kind of realization. You can have a reveal without any foreshadowing. I don't know. Well, it has a 9 out of 10 score. People liked it, apparently.
1 second, please. Hold your first positions. There's somebody at the door. Yeah, I know. Okay, one
It
second.
does spark a lot of debate, so I guess in that sense, it did achieve something.
Right. Okay. Hi. So this is a bit awkward.
Let me in.
I think it's probably best if we're just really honest with each other. It's a bit awkward. The thing is, the game you've just downloaded, somebody is playing it right now, so you can't play it. I'm really sorry.
Darn it!
Yeah, this is quite inconvenient. I don't know why this keeps happening. Sorry, we're generally quite organised. You should come inside. I'll explain. Just through here.
Okay, that's actually a funny idea. Somebody's playing it right now.
Perfectly safe. I mean, it's quite safe. Just go. Yeah, come inside.
Don't think so. They could just agree that you load it and move on.
Okay. Okay, you can wait there.
Yeah, let's wait
The
here.
green room's so much comfier. You know.
That's what I like when somebody says, well, we'll just agree to disagree. My first reaction is always, I didn't agree to that.
Here's the thing. The game's live, which makes it impossible to insert you, and also it's just quite difficult now for you to leave. But I think it's okay. I know what to do. I'm gonna try and call publicity and liaisons, and we should be able to take you to the green room. All right.
Oh, we can watch
Just wait
this.
here. Yeah, we'll be able to get you in. All right. Let me just find the number here. Okay.
You can hear him trying to hold back laughter.
It's ringing.
Rage face.
Somebody will pick up. We're okay.
Okay, 20-minute heist intro. There's a mansion, a vehicle chase.
It's ringing. Don't worry.
Pond fountain. Hard cut. Wall
It's
safe.
ringing. It's still
system.
ringing.
Orchestra stab.
Come on, for God's sake. Yeah.
Bragging,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I guess we've just gone live. So they might be a
Laser
bit
quarter.
busy.
That's awesome.
They still haven't picked up.
Oh wait, you're trying to call me? Okay.
I just hope this phone isn't ringing in some empty room somewhere.
Exactly. This is how you do meta experience, and the voice actor is
I really-
pretty good.
You would have thought it would have gone to voicemail by now. What do you think they're doing? I mean, what are they doing, these people? Are they watching it ring?
Oh, that's in the
Is
subscribers
it
section,
an email?
Jaxus. I should probably put that on general, but good point. Lemony, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be playing next. Right next, maybe Gons will be watching. I'm a little bit hesitant about that one though. But yeah, there's a bit of a list of things that I'm considering. These feel disgusted for having done what the narrator has done. Whether we emphasize or not, it's really hard to feel that since our initial interaction framed completely differently. Novel realizations the narrator failed to realize the intent of Coda's games and then twisted them. Yeah. Thanks for participating in Dr. Langeskov beta test. It really means a lot. Before you leave, we'd like to all testers to... Wait, we would like all testers to moment to fill out this form? What? Experience any issues in vehicular combat? Sort of clever you don't know Jack 90s vibes? Oh, self-absorbed narcissistic drivel about some heist designers. Second album, Depression. Consequence for not following orders is 0. Making games such a pain to you, just leave it. Delinear hates its audience and everyone. Wow. That's it, I'm out. Management. Earlier today I received a note on my desk that read as follows. In the event of a fire in or around your office, please try and ignore it and continue as though it wasn't there. I'm afraid I'm unable to follow these instructions or continue to work in this environment. I quit. Also, office, logistics office 17 is on fire. Vehicle very fragile. Surely not intentional? Oh, thank you, Jaxus. That's great. Phone ring in the background, you know, picking up is mildly infuriating. Sorry, Ghost, that's gonna happen. So you don't feel that for the beginning guys, you feel bad for not playing it? Yeah, it's framed differently. Yeah, actually, Chacha, I like that interpretation, actually. The narrator takes shortcuts. That's actually a good idea. We're told it means something else, but yeah, actually, yeah, it does take a long time to get to know somebody. That's a fun idea. Oh yeah, we actually already played that, Lemony. What Remains of Edith Finch? Loved it. That was an amazing experience. It's all on YouTube, actually. YouTube, if you look for Byronic Gamer on YouTube, I've posted it all there. That was a marvelous experience. I want to play more like that. That's what led us into Ethan Carter. Yeah, Witcher 2, yeah. The author's game, the game they wanted to make. We need to add a YouTube command. That's a good point. Or just a socials command or something. Jump to motorcycles was Brillo. Okay. Be right back. No, you won't. Grappling hook. No! How did it piss me off? The tipping point? Mockery? There is no hope? Whoa! You have some trouble, buddy. Let's grab all the coins and bits. Shuffle all the things we can. We have had enough. Okay, let's pick up the phone. Oh, wait. Can we do something there? No, let's pick up the phone.
Oh, they hung up. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Sorry, guys.
Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, I know we've both got better things to be doing with our lives. Okay. Oh, I know what's going on. We've got
Thank you for that follow.
something of a strike sort of situation emerging. Yeah, we've become quite understaffed. Actually,
glad you're enjoying the tough conversations we're having in here, Lemony.
Come through here. I could really use your help. But if you'd rather wait here, I could just let you know when we're ready for you.
I'm gonna wait a little bit.
It's just, you know, why miss out on this opportunity, right?
This is pretty fun, actually. This is nice. This is the same person who made the previous game made this.
Here.
I think the game got that point across a particularly valid way. I mean, it does have some interesting things. I just think it could be. I think it could have been presented in a more interesting way.
Just up to the left before we could even begin this morning, and it's all super simple. It's mostly buttons. You like buttons, right? And you'll be able to play the game as soon as whoever's in there at the moment is finished. Promise. Your help? Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, this way. Yeah, the lighting department's right through here.
Okay, so apparently we're going to be helping somebody else play this game. But before we do that, I'm going to be clicking all the things.
The Bruising. Yeah, it's a smaller production, this one. I think that's still in
VR
pre-production.
debut.
I'm not working
Nice.
on it.
This voice actor is actually really good.
Don't worry about the strike. We'll get through it.
Just the hesitations are great. Like, don't worry about the strike. We'll get through it. Or the little yawn of, yeah, I'm not working on it. Install new light mixer. Do not export templates in CMYK anymore.
It's spoiling some of the magic, you know. It feels a bit like cheating. You carry on. You do whatever you need to do.
Okay, that's pretty fun. Pencils. Oh, rehearsal schedule. In space strictly restricted. Same developer. Same designer, but not the same developer. Oh. Encourages you to enter it. That's what I like, yeah. In that case, fairly poor rendition of the Dark Souls should have had an easy mode argument. Consumers have the right to add and change anything they want about a piece of art. Yada yada. Yeah, that's one I didn't get, actually. I go through that one. The Total Biscuit argument, I get the point of saying, hey, if there's a story to it, you can adjust the difficulty level so you can see the entire story. That I could understand. Oh, I love that piece. It's a little bit corny, but I like it. That I could understand, saying, hey, I want to see the end of Mass Effect, I want to enjoy the story and want as little of the combat as possible, or make it as easy as possible. But to say that Dark Souls should have been made easier, that makes me think that's kind of the point of the game, though. Let's eat a pretzel. I'm not quite sure why we're picking up all these coins, but we are. It's called summoning other players. Hi-oh. I like that the
No, that's miscellaneous interactions. We don't need to go in there.
high concept. I like that the idea that the game is a stage play. I like this.
That was an adventure. Okay, so if you could just head down the stairs there, yeah? We have a job to do. Plenty of other tables for you this way.
Oh yeah. No, I think an artist makes something, and then it's for you to
First
see.
things first,
That's it.
could you bring up the light?
That's all the rights you have.
Because, we can't have people playing in the dark. Or they'll fall over, and they could die. You see that lever? It sets the sunset off. We got the reflections in the lake looking sort of great.
Make sure the light is on.
Could you pull the lever?
Strobe outro.
You should pull the lever. We really can't have a player wandering around in the dark.
Don't worry, I'll get to it.
You know how to pull a lever, right? Come on, you've pulled a lever before. just put your hand on it and then sort of lift it up.
I like it. Brigade will be called by Pat. Okay, Pat. Ooh, backstage. That's where we came from, right? The cell room coffee machine. Ooh. Move bolt to use with chair. That is weird though, Chacha. Yeah, when the cutscene makes it seem like it's so much
There it
more.
goes. Little lights blinking on in the windows of the mansion, up past the ornamental ponds. Oh, it's pretty magical, really.
Oh.
Okay, now we need to attack them with a tiger. It's a heist game. The player's playing a big heist. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the tiger's very important. It's in the title. All right, into wildlife preparation.
This is
Just through the
actually adorable in a sense.
You don't have to be alarmed. It's not a real jungle. It's just a game. It's just a room full of... Right, this is all...
Oh.
It's so safe. We'd usually have someone else do this, but they started striking right after one of them got... Well, that's not... I shouldn't have... Just
Look at the
pull the lever
sign.
and let's say introduce the tiger to the level. You should pull the tiger lever. Really.
It's the fundamental rights of working classes not to be eaten by a tiger. It is.
Look, trust me on this one. Tigers, it turns out, just aren't. They're not in love with the idea of foxes. Oh Jesus! Could you please? Oh no! Not that door. There's a far more pressing concern in the room, and it's growling.
I should have pressed the other
There's
button.
an actual tiger in this room. An actual tiger.
Oh, that's
Like,
the vault
it's about
door.
4 feet away from you. I don't want to cause alarm. But it's a tiger.
Look at that box. Tiger retrieval. Please remember. Okay. Caution, teeth, claws, wild beast. Ah. Okay.
Perfect. That went perfectly. There should be a red button nearby. It will just let the recovery crews know that the tiger's ready for pickup. Okay. Press it again.
Did you hear those?
Could you press it again? Oh, thank goodness. The recovery crew are on the move. I worried they might have joined the picket or gone to the Union or been eaten by a tiger, you know. Okay, I'm trying to work out where you're going to be most useful. I don't think we have anybody left in catwalks, do we? Oh, we do? Oh, great. Wow. Can't believe it. I guess weather control then. The door's just over there.
This is just...
You're doing so great. There's really not far to go.
I really enjoy how he's just gently encouraging you. The voice actor is amazing.
Oh, I hate this room. This hasn't been easy, you know. During our second performance, a pipe burst in here and flooded the whole garden level. The player got stuck on the roof of the summer house. All right, okay. The script calls for a storm. Let's make it rain. It's the red valve on the pipe next to the door. Gently.
I didn't quit when the flood happened.
A lot of the story relies on there being a storm. It's a big part of Act 3.
I didn't quit when you reassigned me to the spectacularly dangerous department with no training.
Don't worry about what I told you about the flood. We've had 235 non-fatal performances since then.
I didn't quit when the forklift broke and dropped a set piece on my ankle. But looking at all...
Let me be totally honest. In 2 performances, we had mostly underwater surprise moments. But we give everyone armbands now.
Okay, we're good. Looking at all those things written down, I'm beginning to realize that I probably should have. I'm not generally in favor of industrial action, but hey, thinking about it, when the brand new health and safety department literally catches fire within days of being established, perhaps, just perhaps, something like this is necessary. Santiago Morris. Heavy goods transportation, formerly paint shop. This is going to be strange on YouTube, by the way. I'm cutting the leaves, I'm pushing past the trees, I'm slashing away these, brush, flora, and jungle debris. Tree and debris is okay. I'm not going to read all of that.
No, too much. Okay, we're good. There's a button below the fan that sorts out the thunder and lightning.
Let's mess things up for him.
Lightning. It's a really nice effect. It really is.
It makes me not want to follow his instructions. I love it.
Oh. It might be wired up wrong. I'm sorry. That room gets packed down. Now I think about it, it might have been saved. Oh no! There it is! There he goes! You've got to picture the building lit up by these big flashes of lightning. It's really imposing. The set's massive. Oh! Speaking of, the player has apparently entered the mansion through the orangery and is... They're going to use the lift. Okay, that's okay. We can do this. They're right here. This way. Actually, wait, hang on a second. This is really important. Behind this door is the closest the player ever passes backstage. They'll be right behind a wall, and I don't know what the wall is made of, but I do know that it's phenomenally cheap. So you're going to have to be very quiet, okay? Just down the steps. Yeah, that's good. That's the mansion in there. Really clever players sometimes drop the chandelier on a guard. But I think, yeah, this one found the patrol plan and changed it up. So all the guards are walking around the lake, which is... It's a pretty maverick move, to be honest. Here's what we need to do. The player's going to come down the corridor and call the lift. And once the doors open and they get inside, they're going to press the down button. When that happens, all you have to do is pull the lever on this side. This lift was always supposed to power itself, obviously. This is just a hangover from rehearsals that nobody got round to replacing. Besides, it's fine. We've got plenty of time. And actually, no, wait, here he comes. Shh, out, eyes front. Wait for it. Ready?
We're not gonna press it. We're not gonna pull it.
What are they doing? Why haven't they pressed the button? Did they hear us? Don't move. Now.
I'm not gonna pull the lever.
Pull the lever.
No. I'm not gonna pull the lever.
Pull the lever now, please.
No. I wanna hear what you say.
What are you waiting for? Pull it.
No. You pull it.
You're breaking my heart.
Oh god, I feel bad now.
Okay, fine. We'll just wait, shall we?
Look, no need to be sarcastic, okay? You just pulled me in here. I didn't have the training for this. It's fine.
Oh, thank God. No idea what happened there. I think they can't have heard us. I hope they didn't hear us. They probably didn't hear us. At least they're on their way now. Actually, they're going to be very busy with the vault. You could start playing in the grounds. We just need to prep some pyrotechnics for the escape sequence, and then you're good to go. There's a lift to the pyro workshop up the stairs.
From unreliable narrator to
Just,
unreliable player. Oh,
carry
yes.
along.
Although technically we are playing part of the narration, aren't we?
You're not into lifts. That's okay, I can understand that.
Oh, sorry. 16 pitches and that was the one he
We really
chose?
should keep moving. It's not an unpleasant lift. Really, it's a good lift. Oh my god. Are you okay? do you still have your ankles? Are they in the correct
I think so.
orientation?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're okay? You do? That's great. I'm oh god, I'm so sorry about that. This is the weather room, isn't it? Right. Okay, listen. Since we can't reach the lift of Pyro, the only way back into the game is through
High design
a department
concept.
called High Concept Miscellaneous Interactions. Oh, I didn't want to have to do this to you.
Yeah, I think
Usually
so,
a lot of
Huthor.
training involved.
That's at least
But
what
I'll
Jex
talk you
said,
through
right?
it. You'll be fine. We'll be fine. You brace yourself. Welcome to Miscellaneous Interactions. This is the department that controls a lot of things.
Ooh, that's the
Lock
car.
and unlock doors, interior lights, smoke machines, telephone calls, actor queues, laser lights, vault guards, tranquilizer dart strengths, you know, that kind of thing. But it's all just done with numbers. I don't know why. And usually the operator's got this big, usually they know what they're doing. But I've got a manual here. I think we'll get through it.
I love that it's just, this is as though, what if a program was a theater play?
Alright, in order to get started, you're going to want to press the number 4. Just go right ahead, the number 4.
No clip. Lasers!
It should be on the left-hand side. You know the number 4.
This
right?
this is how I see a lot of people take notes at meetings.
4. It's like an L shape with a short line through the. I can't believe what am I doing here? It's like an L with a short line through the bottom bit. It's a 4.
Oh, this is great. Oh, can hardly see that one. Terrible machine parts. It is beginners. Yeah. Guy really likes Portal. Yeah, I can see. Ooh, I can see this. This is sort of an experimental type of thing, right? I like that it's different.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry. That's fine. I think that's normal. Yeah. I don't think that light's a bad sign. 5, 7, 2, 1, 2, 1. Ah. Okay. So what we did there, it turns out, was the wrong thing. Could you press 9 and then 4 and then 1? Oh, I think we restarted it. It's alright, there's a page in the manual about this. Oh, I think you should probably get that. Listen, I know it's tempting to ignore problems that you've caused, but this is really the worst time for that. Just come on, pick up the phone. Just come on.
Will impute the same game made Stanley
They might
Parable.
actually be able to
Nothing to
help.
do with beginner's guide. Ah, okay.
What did you just... That could have been very important. Why did you... Ah, it's alright. Okay, I found the right instructions. Alright, I need you to press the number 9. Alright. Let's just assume that we've got 9 sorted. Right? Okay, 5, 2, 1, 4, 4. Wait, no! Hit start to cancel that. And then a 2. A 6. Just ignore that. That's fine. Right. 7, 2, left.
What?
1, 4. Oh Christ! Please pick up the phone, please, and talk to them this time.
No.
How is this not making you incredibly anxious? Pick up the phone. Please pick up the phone. Oh come on! Again? Do you just not know how to use the phone? All right, back to the board. Hit these 4 numbers. 2, 5, 9. Oh, I guess we don't need to bother with 9. Oh. That sound that I might have told you to ignore, it turns out that that's a very bad alarm. So I'm going to need you to just do a 180, right down the stairs, please. Right down. I'd probably go a bit further. Here's good. Here's good. Great.
Okay.
That wasn't too bad. Okay, back. Come on, back up the stairs. A bit faster than that, please. Just a bit, just a bit faster.
What?
Come on.
Oh wait,
come on.
what? We're okay? Wait, what?
No. Please stick with me. We've really got to fix this.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was reading chat.
All right, don't worry. Actually, do worry a bit. Hit 7, 4, then asterisk. Is there a fire button right now?
What?
Is there something on fire?
Oh
there
God!
isn't there. I don't think any of this.
High quality fire, by the way.
Please don't do what I think you're about to do. You did what I said you shouldn't do. Why did you do it anyway? Why? Wait. Hang on.
Okay, this is hilarious comedy.
We can. I need you to find a blue panel marked downpour.
A
See
blue
it?
panel marked downpour.
It's turned off, right? I found a way to activate a fail-safe lever to the left of the key. Oh no, wait. On the right of the keypad. Right, not left.
Oh,
Don't do
whoa.
Okay, when the downpour panel lights up, I'm going to need you to pull it. When it lights up, not before. Any moment now.
Okay. Any moment now. Any moment now. I like this design. It'll be fine. I pulled it.
Now?
Oh, good. This helped.
Did we do it? I think we did it. The players left the mansion. I think we did it.
This is indeed
I don't think
hilarious.
it's supposed to still be raining, but hey, come back down the stairs.
This is some good comedy. This is very well
You're
done.
here. You don't need to spend any more time in this room. You can forget about the whole thing. This is it. You're done, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You really helped out. We couldn't have made it through without you. We really couldn't have. Through here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Here we are again. So
Ah,
this
yes.
is how it's going to work. You go in there. Just give me a moment. I will bring the lights up. And Dr. Langeskov, the tiger, and the terribly cursed emerald. Enjoy it. so much.
Nobody's left playing this. I'm literally the last person playing this. Ah. Like,
What? Another player? You've got to be kidding me. I can't do this again. Okay, this is really awkward. The fact of the matter is... Wait, hang on. Where are you going? Right, so, look, I need to talk... Okay, that's the lighting room. You need to put... Okay, fine. This is wildlife prep. No, hang on. That's a... Hang on. There's a tiger in there. There's a tiger in there. That's... no, don't pull that. Wait, no. Oh.
I think we're in trouble. Oh. Aye. Oh, that was great. Ah. Okay, that made BG. They're thanking me. No, that made it worth it. This is crows.com. Crows. It's not a it was Simon Amstell. I have no idea who that is, but yeah, that was good. That was fun. Exactly who he does do the Wheatley thing, but quit to crows. Let's do that. But that was a lot of fun. I'm happy that ended up working out. Wait, is this a real thing? Go to crows.com and read about Accounting Plus for VR. Oh, this was great. This was great. That was a lot of fun. I'm happy we ended on that. Getting a bit of a good feeling for the close there. Justin Roiland did voice for this game? Oh. Yep. No, that was a fun experience. That was entertaining. It was nice to do. That was nice and short. I'm Oh my god, I'm gonna do something that's gonna be so good. First I'm gonna find this game. Yes, there we go. And I'm gonna be adding something for you. Something very enjoyable to finish off this. Let's see. I'm gonna add a window capture. Gonna add Steam. That window capture, I'm gonna want it there. Let's transition that. That's my Steam right there. I'm gonna do something that's gonna be so enjoyable. There we go. Can I zoom in on this? Let's see. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger here for you. Gonna right click that. Gonna click that on install. This. Wait, why are you not seeing this? Hold on. I'm gonna have to delete this. Remove the window capture. And add a display capture. That's the one. Put that down lower. There we go. Do you see this? Do you see this lovely beginner's guide? That felt good. That felt good. That made it all worth it. Okay, let's remove the display capture. We are done with that. Whoop, transition over. It did finish, yeah. It did finish just now. Apparently stuff gets added in the second playthrough. Cassettes you can listen to. Oh, that's cool. I do not use categories, no. You still didn't see it? No, you saw it. It transferred over. I saw it on the thing. Well, I'm not going to install it again just so you can watch me uninstall it. That's it. It's just one big alphabetically sorted list. Yes, because I remember the names of games. It is indeed one long alphabetically sorted list. In fact, if I could find a way to unsort it for you, I would, so that they would all be there at random every time I open Steam, and have to find every single game every time. Okay. This was a lot of fun, even when it wasn't. I'm going to use that next time I'm at a party. I mean, at least we got a good conversation out of the beginner's guide. I'm happy to have shared that with you. I feel sorry for Chacha who got a forced sub for this. No, it's good. I had a lot of fun today, at least hanging out with you, even when we were just ragging on the beginner's guide. Hey, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll be back absolutely next week. Let's see about that list that Jex has just posted. What are we gonna do next week? Maybe The Path. Maybe I kind of want to play Night in the Woods. The Lion Song is interesting. I think I'm gonna go for Night in the Woods. That sounds like fun to play. Or maybe Beat Cop. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna leave you with this last traumatic image before we fade away. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna find you some fitting music for this. It's totally going to get this entire video claimed, but it's gonna be worth it. This is the music that belongs to this game.